We went down to Florida for a few days, got some work down there, so it's cool getting some work in, and then of course hanging out outside of football and kind of getting to know guys more and just spending time with each other. So it was good. Yeah, for sure. I think so. One, of course, timing and stuff like that, but more so just hanging out with him. I think just that team chemistry. Just the most that we can hang out is the better. The more you know a person, the more you know their story. I think the harder you play for them and for that person, the more you understand that person and stuff like that. So, like I said, we had a great time down there. Had a fun time spending time with a lot of the guys, so it was good.
What's something there might not be a more important relationship than between quarterback and head coach in all sports? How would you describe your relationship with AJ?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. AG's great. He's awesome. Super personal when it comes to, not only speaking to me, not only our relationship, but, everyone's relationship. He's, like I've been saying this for a long time now, he's straightforward with it. He keeps it very blunt, but, I think our relationship is very good when it comes to that, personally and just being on the same team, being on the same page on, how we want to lead this team. So, he's great for sure.
What's it like coming into training camp knowing you are the clear-cut, without a doubt starter and having such vocal support from like your head coach?
I think you don't have to worry about as much. Last year, like I said, it was kind of in a weird position, but I think, you don't have to do as much thinking and you kind of just, know where you are and, focus on getting better, focus on leading the team each and every day. So, it's just not as much other stuff going around, so it's good.
How do you weigh quarterback and training here when taking chances, right? This is where you kind of want to make your mistakes, right? So trying to fit it in a window versus taking the check down, and being a little more cautious. That's like maybe it'll be in a game or whatnot.
Yeah, not for sure. You definitely have to, take more chances out here, but also be smart. You just can't be, throwing the ball up. But definitely taking more chances, out on the field right now, opposed to, in game. But, in game there are going to be, situations where you do have to take those chances. But now, like you said, of course, these are definitely the times to see what guys can do, see what kind of plays they're, able to make and stuff like that. So, but you're definitely right about that, for sure.
What was your reaction when you saw Garrett got his big money?
I was excited for him, man. I was excited for him. I texted him right away. Just knowing him since he was a freshman in college, he deserves it. Just the amount of work he's put in, the type of guy he is. He loves the game. So after I saw that, I was, hyped for him. So good.
He still has that sort of memory of you at Ohio State. What are your first memories of him when you showed up?
I mean, first couple of practices, he's dunking on dudes' heads. I mean, crazy. I think it was kind of the one we had today. It was like a left side go ball, and he just jumped in Moss the dude crazy. But right then and knew. Right then and there, everybody knew he was different. So, I mean, right out the gate, he was making plays, and of course, ever since then, he's been doing that since then. So.
Is he even different at Ohio State? Because like we can list all the receivers he played with at Ohio State. Hundreds of first-round picks and guys who had success in the NFL. But he even stood out then.
Yeah, I mean, right when he touched the field as a freshman, I mean, he stood out, and you knew that he was going to be different. So, and it's kind of cool, me seeing his journey from then to now. He's done nothing but dominate on the field, and bigger than that, he's a even better person. So it's awesome.
When it comes to your personal goals for this season or growth for yourself, what are you looking forward to?
Of course, winning a lot of games, making the playoffs. I think that's number one on my list for this team, and winning the division as well. So I think those are the goals that are set forth. But of course, before we do all of that stuff, we got to win our division and go out and really get better each and every day. So all of that to say, that's of course down the line. So we kind of got to focus on today and tomorrow. So yeah, but taking it step by step, day by day. But those are the goals that I want to accomplish this year.
What does it say, just getting back to the Garrett contract, the fact that they re-upped with two young players for that much money and that long a term, what does it say to you as a player, as a quarterback?
What does it say to me?
Yeah, the way the organization is operating.
I'm not sure if that's a question for me. What does that say to me? That
Just from a player perspective. the fact that they
I
were
mean,
willing
I think the two players that we did extend, I think, they both, proved themselves as great players in the league, and they deserve that. So Sauce and G, like I said earlier, they're two great players, and, they deserve the contracts that they got.
Doing good.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just all questions. Joe, what was your reaction when they signed Josh here in March? Obviously, he's an experienced player at your position, so what was your feeling then?
Yeah, at first, I mean, it took me by surprise a little bit, but Coach AG actually, he called me first, and he let me know the situation beforehand. So, after that, I was just excited. I immediately, followed him on Instagram, hit him up, and just, kind of start that relationship with him.
How's it been getting to know AG?
That's awesome. I mean, he's an intense guy, and it's all great things. He's somebody who wants to establish a culture, and, he's definitely doing that, through our meetings, through practice, through OTAs, and it's just been, great getting to kind of get the ball rolling with that.
What do you feel like is the next step for you?
I think, just keep competing. We brought Josh in, so now I have that competition each and every day, and, it's something that's only going to make me better. Pressure makes diamonds, so just being able to keep that in my mind, know that, it's an open competition and that I'm going to have to keep battling every day for that position.
You've seen a lot of changes on the offensive line during your time here. Just kind of, what's your assessment on how things are now, especially with the addition of Membou?
Yeah, I'm excited. Just getting to see, Membou through OTAs and see what he can do. A young guy, you don't expect him to, exactly be able to step in there day one OTAs and be able to, battle it out, know the playbook, and he definitely did. So just being able to see that from him knows that he's a guy who's taken his job seriously, and he's a guy who can compete, who can play at a high level.
What's it been like, Justin, and what have you, picked up from him?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great getting to know him. It's different, for me. I've never really played with a quarterback that can play with his legs. Coming from Wisconsin, we pocket passer, drop back, So finally getting to play with someone like that, I mean, it's great. It's super exciting just being able to be out on the field, through OTAs and then through camp now, just seeing what he can do on the field with his legs, just the way it opens up the entire offense. It's just, I mean, it's night and day difference, and I'm excited about it.
How does that change things for you on the line, having the quarterback that's
I would say it doesn't really change much. Every play we're going to block our ass off, as long as we can. Just knowing that, you kind of start, reading the defense as they're pass rushing. You see their eyes. That, he may be moving around back there. So it's just hanging on to your blocks and, sitting down and, just being able to hang on to it.
What's been your impression of Membou so far?
It's awesome. He's a quiet kid, but that's kind of, in my opinion, that's what you want out of a rookie. I came in, I like to think I was a quiet guy, kind of just sat in the room, learned from the guys, just be able to kind of soak in everything that you can, and just he shows us glimpses of his personality, and you can tell he's a great kid and he's going to be a great player.
I would think this line has a lot of potential, Joe.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We've been grinding every single day, through OTAs and everything, and just continually growing, getting better as a room, kind of just keep, setting the bar higher every single day. So, we're not where we want to be, but we have our kind of the end in mind. We know what we want to be able to do by the end of camp.
What's it been like learning the new offense under Tanner?
It's been great. Just at first, it was kind of like, all kind of a lot at once, but being able to kind of, go through OTAs, learning it, really, really diving into it, and then kind of being able to take a step back through, off season, through those five weeks or so, just to be able to kind of step back, I kind of pull out my notes and, reevaluate how I wanted to, have them set up and, how I'm kind of framing those notes in my mind. So just being able to take a step back and then diving right back into it, it's been great.
Looking back at Detroit film, do you like Frank Ragnow, just retired great center? Mm-hmm. Have you watched some of his film?
Yeah.
And what he was doing in this system?
Yeah, absolutely. Frank's a guy that I've watched. He's another 6'6" center in the league. So, since probably my last year at Wisconsin, Frank's been a guy that, I've really watched. We had the same agent, so, he was my agent kind of was able to tell me a lot about him and be able to plug me in with him just to be able to not actually really talk to him, but be able to sit back and learn from him through film, watch how he plays and what a great player he was.
You said Tanner threw a lot at you in spring.
Yeah.
What's the recall like now as you get back to Canada?
Oh, it's great. I mean, yeah, that's, we really dove into it in OTAs, but that was such a great thing because now we're able to kind of sit back, start back again with install one. And, it's kind of like dialing everything back and then, we're plugging it back in again. So recall's been great, just being able to sit down in that meeting, not have the, kind of the stress that we have through OTAs because we put the work in then.
What's Coach Hyde like?
He's an awesome dude. He's a definitely an intense guy, but he's not somebody who, puts so much pressure on you when you're on the field. He's somebody who, when we're out there, he's a really calm guy, kind of keeps everything level-headed so that you're able to just kind of, go to work every single day. And then, when you come off the field, you can say, I can say, hey, what'd you think about that? And, I get an honest answer right then and there. So it's been great, and I love Steve.
What are some of the subtle changes or nuances going from the old offense here to the new one for the center position?
Yeah, I'd say kind of, there was a lot of, with what we were doing before, a lot of kind of getting out wide and a lot of running. And now it's, tighter landmarks and we're, kind of more downhill. So I'm excited about that. As an O-lineman, you want to be able to kind of get your feet in the ground and, put pressure into the guy across from you. So I'd say that's a big difference for me.
You guys can be a downright rushing team, John.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially with the backs we got. I mean, the whole room. I'm excited about every single one of those guys. Brees, Braylon, and Davis. They're just like a 1-2-3 punch. You don't hear that much, but just a great combination of guys. And on the limited plays that Davis had last year, just to see what he could do. It's awesome. I'm excited about every single one of those guys in that room.
When it comes to Justin, any idiosyncrasies about the way he likes his ball or anything like that? After you guys both build a relationship there?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say anything, crazy. It's just, he's definitely a very relaxed guy, but it's such a a big help in the huddle to have somebody who's as calm and kind of just like level-headed as he is, just to be able to kind of just, after practice, sit down and talk to him, hey, what'd you think about this? What'd you think about that? And just to get such a smooth, honest answer out of him, it's been great.
Does it change your thought process as a center when you know the guy behind you is such a threat to run the ball?
I don't really think so. I mean, I don't know. I haven't noticed it, and, this is kind of my first time diving into it. But like I said earlier, just kind of, in the pass pro, just kind of reading your block and reading what the D lineman's doing across from you can kind of tell you whatever Justin's doing back there. So it's been awesome just being able to see what he can do with his legs.
There was a play early in practice where you locked up somebody up the middle and Braylon Allen went for a long run. Does that bring back some Wisconsin?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love seeing Braylon run downhill. He's a big guy, and, just to see what he can do when he makes one cut and vertical, it's just awesome. There's not many people that can tackle him one-on-one when he's going downhill full speed.